I am right on time, Night Watcher. It's 5:10. Nice to see you here, if you're still here. I'm going to give a quick cruise through the YouTube streets, as our friend Destiny Forever Walks PhD says. I'm going to see if anyone's live. I know our friend Noble was live. Let's see if he still is. I had him up and running. I think he is done. Yep. I had him tuned in for most of it and had a chance to chat with him for a little bit. Charlie559 says, hi. Charlie, how are you? Charlie just came in. I'm checking around YouTube real quick to see if we got anyone who's live. If they are, I like popping in and saying hi, as well as having them up and running so that we can give them some watch hours at the same time. You got to share the love, guys. I've been extremely blessed by having some great subscribers, great people coming and chatting. You know what? I sort of dislike terms. Everything's sort of a term, but we say subscribers, and that creates a level that puts something in between us. It creates a level of I'm this, you're that doesn't belong. I think the best that we can say is not subscribers, not supporters. We can only say friends, that we are all friends here. Charlie says it's good. Hey, I think I asked you, I don't remember if maybe you didn't see the question. Are you going to do some summer training to get in shape for next season? For I know basketball is in winter. Lacrosse is in spring, right? Or is there a fall league as well? All right, I think we're caught up. Charlie says, yes, I will train, and you're right, with all the sport timing. Good. Man, I used to absolutely love summer training to get in shape for football. The funny thing is, I had no interest in football as a sport whatsoever. I could care less if I played. If I got in the game, didn't matter to me. I could care less what position I played. But I absolutely loved football practice. I loved the training. I loved getting in shape before the season began. I loved everything about it. And my coach could tell that I was not interested in actually playing football. What turned out, what I really wanted to do was just train. The sport itself didn't matter to me. And that's when I realized that something like bodybuilding and powerlifting was more suited to my mentality. Sometimes I think, later in life, actually in my mid-40s, I got into ultra running. I ran my first 50K. Man, I guess it was 13 years ago or so. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. And I ended up running over 100 ultra marathons, everywhere from 50K to 50 miles to 100 miles a couple times, and a lot of 24-hour races. Absolutely loved it. And I think, maybe I would have gotten into cross country back then, except um, back then I didn't want to be a runner. I wanted to be bigger, I wanted to be stronger. Um, and I only ran as conditioning. I didn't really just go out to run for fun. I was running to get in shape for something, to do cardio. Um, Again, it was in my mid 50s when I discovered the joy of just running really, really long distances for no purpose other than running really, really long distances. I wasn't good enough to think about winning, although I did. I won my age group in some races a couple of times, more because I was stubborn. Like I won my age group in a 12-hour race because the temperature got in the high 90s and we had severe thunderstorms, and everyone else went into the tent for a couple hours, and I was just too stubborn to do so. So I kept running and walking out in the rain, covering the time. Um, so the times when I actually did well in races had less to do with talent and more to do with the fact that um, I was willing to stay out in all kinds of weather. Not because I considered myself super tough. I just like all kinds of different weather, and I like being in motion. Charlie says he used to run marathons. I didn't tell my parents though, because they don't fully support marathons. So he used to say, "Oh, I'm uh, going to my doze," and then if my dad asked, I would say that I was meeting a friend. Dads, that's funny that other kids sneak off to uh, drink beer, smoke cigarettes, get in trouble, and here our friend Charlie was sneaking off to run a marathon. Says a lot about you. I see you got a post up. Um, I just clicked on your site. Music is my favorite. Also, I'm learning guitar. That's awesome. You're putting up some good stuff, Charlie. Not only are you putting up some good stuff, I see that people are responding to it, which is a good thing. When people respond, it's because they resonate with what you're doing. High quality stuff. Charlie says I play sports for a living. Flower says, surprisingly, I'm still here. Hello. Hey, I saw you over at Nobles. Flower, how are you? It's a long day for you. But of course, it's Friday, so you can sleep in tomorrow, right? Our friend C. Peyton is here. Kathy, how are you? I saw you at Masha's today. Hope you're doing well. I know you mentioned Amasha's that you felt that you were um, feeling a bit stressed out. Kathy says, yep, I was there. And she says hi to Flower. Flower is good, but her phone battery is 5%. Do you have power there? I know sometimes for you and for Night Watcher, the power goes off. Night Watcher was here at the very beginning and accused me of being late. It's 3:50 a.m. Wow. Have you slept at all? Are you up? Are you up early, or did you even bother to go to sleep? Hey, our friend Medic is here. Medic, how are you? Man, your walk and balloons was absolutely awesome. I had to post that on my community page because it was just so beautiful. I was reading about fairy trees, which are most common in Ireland, but they have them everywhere. And that one tree, the beginning of your walk, remind me of something that could easily be a fairy tree. Kathy says hi to Medic. Medic says I only got 3 hours sleep after my 8-hour live last night. Um, here's the thing that amazes me, Medic. I have you up and playing, and it's taken me, I'm over the 4-hour mark here. So it's taken me 4 hours or so to get here. And here you put in, I'm halfway there, and you put in this epic long session. Impressive endurance. I don't think people realize that the creative effort it takes. And it can be, if you don't find a way to recharge, it can be fairly draining. Having a conversation, being paying attention, being attuned to what people are saying. Yeah, that was definitely an epic session. 8+ hours. Flower says I have an entrance exam at 9 a.m. Flower is just up doing some random stuff. Hanging out with Noble. Flower says, just going to see if Chris comes in. Tonight might be the night. Let's hope. Medic says, last 30 minutes was tough. I was flagging. Hey, you hung in there. Steady throughout. And I see, I'm looking through the chat. Lots of good friends there. I see our friend Eric Lapointe. Rob's. I need to check in on Rob's channel. It's been a few days. Kazem, am I saying that right? Bagari says, hi, hello, my friend. How are you? Flower says, I hope he doesn't chat because he sees my chat. No, Flower, I told him that you were supporting him, that you asked about him. So if he sees you, I think that will be a welcoming sign. Medic says, not too shabby for a sick old guy. I don't know. I didn't see any signs of age. I like a live stream. I like a live stream to an art form. And I stick with that because it really is. But it's also, when you do 8 hours, I think when you do anything over 3, maybe 4. No, I'm going to stick with 3. Maybe even anything over 2. Not only is it an art form, it's an endurance event. And if you can have an endurance event and entertain at the same time, inform at the same time, it's even more impressive. Peyton says, I promise I will go live as soon as this wind stops blowing and I can go out ghost hunting. I saw you mention that over on Mayhem and Miracles, that it was windy and that you were waiting. So yeah, definitely looking forward to you going live. Our friend E is God's son is here. Says, hey, how you doing today, everyone? E, how are you? Beautiful video you put up today on prayer. I don't know if you guys visit E is God's son, but he has a beautiful channel. He's a very devotional, heartfelt young man. Medic says 2-year anniversary as a YouTube creator tomorrow. Well, you gonna do something to commemorate? Commemorate. That word will eventually come out correct. For it, any type of celebration. He says, God bless you all. God bless you too, my friend. Medic says 65 next month. You got me by 6 years. Last month I turned 59. It's my last, every 9, 39, 49, 59 to say the same thing. This is my last year of youth, my last year of being young. And it's probably true this time. I didn't run my first 100-mile race until I was 50, 2 weeks after my 50th birthday. So the 50s weren't much of a problem. This year has been a little rough because I hurt my back doing something stupid. I do hundreds of burpees every day. I would run, I would race, I would lift weights, all kinds of stuff. Nothing. And then I was doing something stupid, trying to get into my car when 2 cars were parked too close to me. And Milka even offered, she said, oh, don't try. I'll crawl on the back and pull it out and you can get in. And I said, no, I'm going to use my yogic powers and ease in one joint at a time and just flow, fluid. I'm going to be like water, as Bruce Lee quoted from the Tao Te Ching. And I started, and something popped in my back, and I immediately started moaning and groaning, and I haven't stopped since. And that was like 10 months ago. Flower says, I hope I don't have to leave before he comes. I hope not. One, I hope he comes, and I hope you're here. Kathy says, I'm tired of the wind, of this wind. Yeah, it's been raining here every day for, man, it feels like 2 weeks. So I certainly understand how you feel, Kathy. Milka McCarty is here. I just now mentioned you. Flower says he might not come out, come, but it doesn't hurt to stay hopeful. I agree. Flower says hi to Miss Milka. Medic says it might do a short live. Yeah, that's an important thing. 2 years of YouTubing, 2 years of really creative content. I mention it all the time. When you're here and when you're not here. I think, truly, it's probably the best edited stuff on YouTube. And the nature shorts are outstanding, or the nature shots. Not all of them are shorts. I appreciate the longer length for the otters, because you know what? Otters deserve that extra time. Hey, Flower, you should go over and check out Medic if you want to see some really awesome animals. He is God's son says, I'm doing good. I'm happy to hear that. And Kathy says she subbed to E. Awesome. E is someone that gives me hope in the future. Young kids with good hearts. Same with Flower. Let's see. Flower says, Wind is my best friend and worst enemy sometimes. I can understand that too. I'm constantly worrying that it's going to mess up my hair. And Medic, good advice. It's just a number. Age is a state of mind. I agree with that. especially if you've done, if you've taken care of yourself. You stay fit. It doesn't have to be anything major. Um, my father exercised his entire life, but that's what it was. He didn't train for anything. He exercised. He did some calisthenics that he learned in the Navy in 1945, 44, 45, and little light dumbbell routine, and he walked. Nothing really major, just enough. So at uh, 93, before he got really sick with congestive heart failure, um, he stayed mobile and active and survived a whole lot of things that even his doctor said he had no right to survive. Um, Septic gallbladder that burst in the hospital. And they said by rights that alone should have killed him. And yet he bounced back. And that was like 3 days after getting out of the hospital with pneumonia. Mocha says, "What's up, Flower?" Let's see. Oh, I'm falling behind. I'm going to skip some of the highs. Hi, guys. Charlie says, "Should I tell you what my name is?" Sure. As I said, I consider you guys friends. If you're here, if you participate in a conversation once, if you wish me well, if you say hi, hey, I have low requirements for friendship. It is what it is. Lewis is here. The champ, the burpee champ. We have Destiny, who was in earlier today, the burpee queen with 116 burpees in 22 minutes, and we have the champ. Flower says, now that Lewis is here, there's a higher chance that he won't chat. If he comes, oh, I don't know. He might. We got everyone saying hi. I'm doing my best to catch up. Hey, I am caught up. Flower says, I just wait for Yogi to say. Wait for me to say what? Oh, who is Chris? Chris K. You remember Chris K? He had a bit of a fallout with micro farmer. Medic says, just a daily walk is good, and if it's in nature, even better. Yeah, I agree. I get in 2 walks a day. One is really brisk. It's at my racing pace. If I were to do another ultra. And that's early in the morning. And the other one is just meandering. Meandering with Mocha and Misty the Wonder Dog. But getting out in nature, I don't know if our friend Eric Lapointe is in the background, but if I say walking in nature, I got to talk about fractals. So Charlie559 says, my name is Cordelia. That's a pretty name. Oh, and Flower says it's pretty too. Lewis says, oh, that dude. Yep. He popped in once. He apologized. He was very sorry. He said that he's sure everyone here hated him and would never forgive him. And said he probably wouldn't come back, but I hope that he will. I assured him that no one hated him. And Peyton says, I remember him. Yeah, he left quite an impression. Lewis says, I wouldn't worry about him, Flower. She's a kind-hearted person. Wishes peace and the best for everyone. Our friend Noble. Hey, Noble. Thanks for coming in. I was just talking about you earlier. What did you think of my walk today, Yo-Yo? Man, it was awesome. I got to see part of the Pacific Ocean. I got to see Noble on a peninsula. You can't see that on YouTube every day. So I hope everyone here is connected or connecting We got a lot of, as Flower says, we got a lot of blue. We got a lot of wrenches. If anyone doesn't have a wrench and they would like a wrench so they can connect, just let me know. Not that I give out wrenches indiscriminately, but again, if you're here, if you've been here for a bit, you're a friend, and you deserve a wrench. Although I do have strict rules, there'll be no running with the wrenches. There'll be no swinging them around haphazardly, hurting other people, chasing other people with wrenches. No horseplay with wrenches. Medic says, I count myself very fortunate to live surrounded by so much natural beauty and beautiful wildlife. I was talking to Dottie, Dottie the Explorer, in the earlier live session, and she's in Great Britain as well. And I'd mentioned, man, I really believe that's my soul home. Sometimes I think it's the desert. There's just something about the landscape all through Great Britain, from the wild coasts of Wales all the way up to Scotland. It just really speaks to me. Could be the McCarty genes. But I actually feel the same. I'm in a beautiful suburban area. It doesn't feel super suburban though. It's very spaced out, and I can take a walk of just several miles and see tons and tons of stuff. Mocha and I will walk for an hour, and it can be some days nonstop doing little, filming for nature shorts. Let's see. Man, and again, I don't mean to keep harping on the otters, but absolutely awesome. I'm really hoping to get a shot of a beaver here. We got one in my neighborhood. I saw it back in December, but I haven't seen it since. Lewis says, I don't hate him at all. Yeah, and that's what I told him. I just didn't like that he was being disrespectful to the chat. I did my part. I gave him a prayer. All you can do. I read that on my morning chat when I read from the Bhagavad Gita, that you do your duty and you surrender the actions. And one thing I know 100% for certain, it is what it is, has a good heart. He's never going to do something against someone. He's only going to stand up for what he thinks is right. And if that means, drawing a hard line, that's what he does. But it's not personal. It just needs to be done. Eric Lapointe says, fractals. Eric slipped him in the conversation several times last night. And you know what? It fits in well in any conversation. Just a natural, I was out enjoying the fractals this afternoon. Flower says, I don't know if Eric knows side faces. I do not know side faces. I'm a straightforward kind of a guy. Noble says it was a good one for sure. Beautiful walk. Medic says we were so thrilled when the otters showed up. Yeah. I did a 100-mile race in northern Pennsylvania. I didn't finish it. I think I got 70 miles in. I was just having a really bad day. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do it was because it had otters. It was all along the side of a river. And the entire day I saw otters, saw a porcupine, saw a rattlesnake that was fairly close to me. And then driving home, Mocha and I saw a bear. Hey, our friend Mayhem and Miracles is here. Masha. Masha, how are you? We've got a young friend who stops in here who is doing his best to get subscribers. And I keep saying, check my community wall. Every time Miracle Mayhem and Miracles goes live, I share her out. And if you go and you help other people, you go there to serve other people, you ask for help, you'll grow your channel. It's a simple process. Work with people, and people will work with you. Everyone's saying hi. Mocha says Eric keeps slipping into the fractals. Man, I can't believe you brought Steve Miller into a conversation about fractals. If you guys sense just a little bit of disdain for Steve Miller, I apologize. I'm not anti-Steve Miller. Noble says, I can't wait to visit Maryland and go on a nature walk with you, Yogi. That would be awesome. Although I think what we should all do is go to the UK and go for an otter walk with our friend Medic. Unless I see a beaver. Then everyone's invited over here to see a beaver, and then we'll go over to the UK. Mayhem says, hey to everyone. Medic says he's going to change his name to Duracell because I'm still going. For people who have come in who might not know, I'm going to give a shout out, 2 shout outs actually, to our friend UK Medic. He did an epic 8-hour live stream session yesterday. And he's surviving on 3 hours worth of sleep. And tomorrow, it is tomorrow, right? It's going to be his 2-year YouTube anniversary. And I keep mentioning the best nature videos on YouTube, bar none. Masha says she made an apple pie. My mom used to make awesome apple pies. Flower's hanging in there. Her phone is at 1%. So if she stops chatting, you know why. 1%. His name is Laradox. Laradox. It's a nice young man. A bit insistent, but a nice young man. And one of the things I kept stressing was, don't go to other people's, I don't count myself as other people, but don't go and say, hey, I need subscribers. Go in, you can ask for help, but get to know people. Befriend people and say, hey, I'm here, I need help, but at the same time, I want to help. It is what it is, says apple pie and vanilla ice cream. We had a long conversation about that, you, me, and Odom. Speaking of Odom, our friend Odom's Homestead, he's in Tennessee, had a violent storm sweep through his area 2 days ago and heavily damaged his garden. For those who know Odom, garden is his life. It's his passion. He has God, family, and garden. So you know how devastating that is. So, guys, send out some prayers to our friend Odom. Eric LaPointe says, I just subscribed to you, Mayhem Miracles. Awesome. No one works harder for you than Masha. I recommend, I love our friend James Gype. And man, did he help my channel quite a bit. And he's passionate at what he does. He's, speaking of endurance, he will be there for an hour or more and just nonstop help people. But you go to Mayhem and Miracles and you have this deep engagement. There's an obviousness to what she's doing and why she's doing it, because she cares about people. And the people who show up quickly become her friends, and she'll work for you, which is huge. Um, and I look at some of the people here in this chat, and they become friends because of Masha. And again, I always state, I don't say they became subscribers, they became supporters, they became friends. When you say friends, supporting is implied, because you know a friend's always got you back. And I mention that um, because I think of people. It is what it is. Um, I think of Flower. I think of Eric Lapointe. These guys have my back, as do um, all the people that I met over at Mayhem and Miracles. Medic will be back. Needs a drink. Mayhem says, I'll connect back. I'll wait a bit to be sure it connects. And be sure to leave your name. Mocha is laughing. I just wanted to get you to say Steve Miller Band. That certainly was not nice. I can go years without ever saying Steve Miller or band. Kathy says, a while ago I was at 402, but I dropped to 397 real quick. But, you said you're going to do a live soon, as soon as the wind dies down. And you'll be back putting out some content, and that's going to bring it right back up. Noble says, no worries, too, it is what it is. Still loves him. It's because Noble has a big heart. Hey, Noble, I know that you're growing your channel. And, man, it's growing big. I remember, what was it, 2-3 weeks ago when you were pushing for 5,000. I don't know if you visit Mayhem or Miracles, but, again, it's a really good place to make friends, and that's what you do best. The best in the live stream community, that's for sure. Noble makes friends. Eric Point wants to know how he does that, UK. It's pure endurance. Noble says, whose 2-year anniversary it is? UK Medic. Go over to UK Medic and really, I keep harping on the otters. 2 reasons. Obviously, I love otters. And it's just a fantastic video. Actually, 2 of them. And I posted both of them on my community page. As well as his recent walk he did with balloons. A display of the balloons in the air. But the walk itself is just amazing. It's almost like you're stepping back in the King Arthur era when you look at it. So definitely go visit there. In 8 hours, speaking of 8 hours, our friend Noble did several 12-hour sessions. So I mentioned before, if anyone who's a regular coming in and chatting and having fun doesn't have a wrench, but wouldn't mind having one, it really does make it easy for you guys to connect. So I'm always happy. I laid down the ground rules. I'll say it once again, no running with the wrenches, no horseplay, no swinging them haphazardly, no loosening lug nuts. I guess that's what wrenches are for. So go ahead, loosen the lug nut. Flower says Mayhem's name reminds me of Masha and the Bear. I don't know Masha and the Bear. Noble says Mocha without the wrench. That's been brought to our attention several times. Mocha says she's just fine without a wrench. Eric Lapointe says he just subscribed to Hello. I thought maybe you might have been connected to her a while ago. Um, our friend Holgo has some new art sculpts up. It's a talented artist. So definitely worth checking out. We got a laughing out loud from Mayhem and Miracles from Asha. You see, here's the thing. I laid down those ground rules for having a wrench. If I were to give one to Mocha right now, she would immediately break every single one of the rules. Proudly so. You would immediately see her running around the pool with a wrench in her hand. We got a hee from Flowers. So, as I mentioned to Medic, the amazing thing is I've had him up, and he's right now on my screen. He's at the 5-hour mark on his 8-hour marathon session. During the course of that 5 hours, I'm ready for bed. I'm tired. And he's got 3 hours more talking. Masha is another one. She'll easily put in 3 or 4 hour live stream sessions, and tirelessly, and giving the entire time. She's engaged with everyone that comes in. She's helping people get watch hours. She's helping people get subscribers. What amazes me and really inspired me, I mentioned before that couple people, our friend Reverend Terminator, our friend the Jay Jordan, really showed me what you can do with YouTube as an art form, specifically the live streaming. And then I was so fortunate to connect with Mayhem and Miracles, and I saw that a live stream is not only an art form, but it's a way of being of service for people. And you don't have to do what Masha does. It doesn't have to be of service. It doesn't mean that you have to, help channels connect. Although that's always a fun thing to do as well, especially when you have a diverse group of friends that show up. But to be of service is, for me, the most important. Everyone's welcome here. Every single person. Every single person gets a kind word. Everyone gets a gift. I mentioned before in the yogic Vedic tradition that everyone you come in contact with receives a gift. It could be just a kind word. It could be as simple as a silent blessing, namaste, or a bless you, a prayer. Doesn't matter, but it's a gift. So for me, Mayhem and Miracles is a channel of high service, and it inspired me to make sure that that's what I was doing. Flower says, have you seen Rio, Eric? I have not. What is it? Rio de Janeiro? Or Rio Bravo? The John Wayne movie that probably no one here is old enough to remember. Maybe. I don't know. Or the Rio Grande, the river. So I'm just going to give a quick update, as I've had some wonderful help from Asha. Flower says, it's a cartoon about 2 blue macaws. No, I haven't. Can I find clips on it on YouTube? One thing I noticed this morning, my watch hours are 2,770. I'm drawing ever closer to that first level, 3,000. Man, when I first started thinking of monetizing, and I looked at that little gauge, and I was so far away. It amazes me that someone can get, what is it, 4 million, 10 million views of YouTube Shorts. That absolutely astounds me. When I saw that, I thought, all right, my best path is with watch hours, although I love doing the YouTube Shorts. But one thing I did notice is that there's a little clip that says showing as of May 5th. So I'm probably over 2070 and somewhere in the low 2080s, 2800s, sorry, which means I'm getting there. I'm getting close to that 3000. I would not be close, and I would not have the hope that I have of complete monetizing by, oops, I missed something. I missed Masha saying my TV's going with DJ. Awesome. And Flower said the lights went out. I'm sorry. I'll look that up, Flower. Yeah, I wouldn't be in this position right now without every single one in the chat who just shows up to chat. It shows up and watches me get farther and farther behind sometimes in the conversation. Our friend Kay is here. Kay Renee's Garden. Kay says, hey, Yogi in chat. And I wouldn't be here this close, again, without the help of Mayhem and Miracles, without the wonderful help of our friend Goldie. You guys have been completely awesome. Everyone connected with Kay Renee's Garden by, if I'm going to be 100% accurate, Kay Renee's Fitness and Garden. Kay Renee's Garden and Fitness. I think Kay Renee's Garden and Fitness might be best, as it's Kay does wonderful fitness stuff. And she's a burpee pro. She's a Peloton champ. She's doing gorilla rows right now. But it's obvious that her garden is her passion, for sure. I'm taking my pill, as I do every night. Flower says, there's Rio 1 and 2. I will be checking them out. So once more, I just wanted to offer that big thank you for everyone. Check in and make sure that I'm caught up. Amazingly so, I am. And I think that's because I'm learning these little secrets, skipping some of the highs between my friends. So I'm going to mention something for our friend Eric Lapointe. We'll bring this back up into... Oh, and by the way, I don't know if you guys realize, Eric Lapointe gives wonderful support to everyone. Anyone who's mentioned here and shows up on a regular basis, he subscribes to. But he's so low-key, so supportive without ever stepping up and letting it be known that he's posting content on his channel right now. Some wonderful nature clips. So because, again, he's just easygoing, low-key guy, it might slip under the radar, and that would be a shame. So check him out. But Eric's been talking about fractals, and that's one of my favorite things to talk about uh, with him and with our friend Duncan Walsh. Fractals are the self-replicating patterns found throughout nature. The ocean is a self-replicating pattern. It's fractals. The brain, parts of our body, and fractals relate to fractals. This is why UK Medic was talking about the health benefits of walking in nature. Just because we respond to those fractal patterns. I can't help but think self-replicating patterns in nature and the human body, that's a case for a creator. That's a case for God. That's a case for some type of, whatever you want to call it, some type of intelligence pervading the universe, which makes it a beautiful place to be. Kay says, I can't see everyone in the chat. Hello to everyone. I may have missed in the chat. Flower says, I guess I'm watching you on 3 different devices. Paid off. It did. Very much appreciated, Flower. Flower, right from the start, has been a huge supporter. A huge friend. Flower says, hey Eric, post a 1-second clip of nature shorts. I can watch it over and over again with no problem. I have just the thing, actually. I have one of a little bird, and I believe it is a, I think, I'll have to double check with Mocha, tufted titmouse on the ground, hopping, and then it hops right into flight. And it's like 1 or 2 seconds. But you don't, getting 10 million views on a clip just seems like such a tall order. But I will do that tomorrow, or maybe before I go to bed tonight. So yeah, studies have shown that just getting back out in nature, within minutes, our eyes immediately respond to the fractal patterns, and stress is reduced by 60%. Now throw in exercise, 20-minute walk in nature. If you want to make it more effective, nasal breathe. You got to be mindful. So you're adding a meditative effect to it. If you want to turn it into a true meditation, I've mentioned this before, you add in a mantram. A mantram is different than a mantra. A mantra doesn't have any particular meaning. You're relying upon the vibratory quality of a Sanskrit, or it could be a Hebrew word, but generally we're talking Sanskrit, as mantra is a Sanskrit word. But a mantram will have some type of meaning to it. Usually it's a holy name. You could do Hail Mary, you could do Jesus, you could do, for me, it's a combination of Krishna and Rama. Doing a Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, a version of that. Whatever it is, some type of holy name. And if you just do an easy repetition, you're not concentrating it, just as you walk, you think the word. Because you're really celebrating God when you get out and walk in nature. So you have the fractal patterns doing what they do naturally. You have the nasal breathing, bringing a mindful quality. And then you have the holy name playing through the mind. And you have a complete spiritual practice in a 20-minute walk in nature. It's a pretty amazing effect. Or you could do what our friend Kay Renee does, or Odom, or Micro Farmer, and plant something. There's something magical about a garden. Obviously, Because think of all the great stories that have been told. Masha says, have a great stream. Making dinner now. Enjoy your dinner. And Masha says, thank you for support. You're welcome, and thank you. So much appreciated. I mean, some great magical stories, especially children's stories, have been told about gardens. But I think very often we lose that magic. I've talked about that before, becoming re-enchanted with the earth, re-enchanted with the magic of the earth. And I think that's what gardening at its best does for us. It offers us that re-enchantment. We're literally participating with the magic of the earth. My gardening friends, my gardening channels, that I just love supporting so much, they tune me into that magic. They help me remember. Same with people, Noble on his walks and feeding crows. All of UK Medics clips. Absolutely amazing. As well as Eric Lapointe's new stuff that he's putting out. I'm going to do a quick little YouTube search. As mentioned before, I'd like to see who might be live. And then at the very least, even if I'm live, I'd like to just leave a message, let them know, hi, and then I'll leave them up and running and help them with some watch hours. I was amazed when I heard Masha say that she got her watch hours fairly easily. I think she actually said she got her watch hours before she got 1,000 subscribers. And that's because when I asked her, because I was struggling for watch hours, how did you do it? And she said, going live, just talking. And I thought, I don't know, I was doing live for 20 minutes. I really felt that if I was on a roll, that 40-minute, 45-minute live stream was doing pretty good. And then I would watch her doing 3 hours. Absolutely amazed, because she would just give and give and give. And I thought, I don't know if I have that. I've been an endurance athlete for a long time. I don't know if I have that kind of endurance. But one thing I find is not to be pressed to have something to talk about. I get every so often I stumble across how to do a live stream, and it always talks about things having a plan, sticking with a plan. And I find when I come with a plan and stick with it, the energy's not there. It just doesn't feel like a very productive talk. Maybe because I'm not a planner. Who knows? Could be a number of reasons. But for me, it's all about the energy. And it has to be free-flowing. Doesn't have to stick in any topic. And it has to be responsive, which is why I fall behind on the chats. Because I like riffing on all the stuff that shows up. And sometimes, that's ongoing for a bit. So who's still with me? Let's throw a topic out there and we'll talk on that. I think we'll be here maybe for another 15 minutes. We can keep talking about fractals. we can talk about other aspects of nature. I'm always up for, obviously, talking about meditation. I'm a meditation teacher and a breathwork coach. And as mentioned before, hey, if you come here, um, you're a friend, and I'm happy to teach anyone meditation. You will be part of a lineage of mantric and Vedic meditation that dates back, some say, the yogic traditions, well over 5,000 years. Minimum, we're talking 3,000 years. I think Patanjali wrote the Yoga Sutras 2,500 years ago, just after the age of when Buddha was alive. The Buddhist path and the yogic path, they split in some ways, but they're so similar in most. See, Peyton is still here, and Eric LaPointe is still here. Awesome. Are you guys following C. Peyton? Kathy has a paranormal channel. Fascinating subject. Because, you know, having a tradition based in yoga, but also, you know, I like the out of the norm stuff as well. But I'm often asked about past lives and if I believe in them or not. And I don't really have an answer. I don't often talk about things that I believe in because I hold my beliefs lightly. I think it's an entire possibility. I think it was Eleanor Roosevelt. He said, having been born once, she wouldn't find it surprising to be born again. Eric LaPointe says, fun fact, vines grow in the same rotation of the earth. I didn't know that. Wow. And that is interesting. That might be a subject of some writing. You did that for me when we talked about bird songs, early morning, the dawn chorus, and how it triggers plants to open up. Hey, our friend Goldie is here. Goldie, I was talking about you. Hey, Eric, here's something you might know if it's true or not. Supposedly, dogs do their business aligned to the magnetic North Pole. I don't know if that's true or not. So I'm writing that down, and I'm going to explore that. I love when people drop those little things that inspire me, and then I get to write about it. Everyone's saying hello to Goldie. What were you talking about me? I was saying how much I appreciated the wonderful friends that I've made on YouTube, and how I've had some friends who have really, really made an effort to help me out, and that as I'm approaching some important goals, not there yet, but I see that edge. I see things creeping up. That I have my friends in the chat who show up and kindly listen to me ramble on and on and on about all kinds of stuff. And I have my friend Goldie and Masha, who have made it a point to put in some extra work on my behalf, which just fills me with so much gratitude and awe. And inspires me. There's people like Goldie in the world. There's people like Masha in the world. There's people like uh, Kathy and Eric Lapointe and all the wonderful people up above. Um, yeah, yeah, YouTube might have some issues, but YouTube also has Goldie, and YouTube also has Kathy, and it has Flower, and it has K. Renee's Garden, and it has Odom, it has Destiny. For any of those, um, more than make up for any negativity. Goldie says, "That's sweet. Thank you. You're welcome, my friend." Birds all do their nest facing the east, but who doesn't? This is true. My nest is certainly facing the east, and I tried to do it otherwise, but instinctively, I couldn't bring myself to do it. Goldie says, "Today I'm bragging. Let's hear it. My newest is something my daughter made. That's awesome." Goldie says, "Where is Holger?" I was talking about Holger earlier too. Um, I didn't see him today. And Goldie says, "Check out my short after this one." I will. I'm bringing your channel up now, so I have it before I go to bed. I will be able to check it out. Holger has some new stuff on as well. I'm actually clicking on it now. Goldie, I couldn't wait. I love the unveiling, and I love the box dropping around it, and that is completely awesome. You mentioned the dragon. That is worthy of a brag. That's amazing. So I brought it up. I was going to wait. Going to look at it before I went to bed. And I just couldn't do it. Goldie said she made the box too. Wow. I'm watching it again because I wanted to see the box fall. Giving it a very dramatic presentation. She knew what she was doing with that drama. She also knew how awesome it was and that it deserved that type of anything less than the dramatic presentation, I think wouldn't have done it. But the way the box falls and then it just stands out. And again, you mentioned that she was working on a dragon. I'm going to have to show that to my stepdaughter. Absolutely loves dragons. Thanks for sharing that with us, Goldie. And man, all artistic praise to your daughter, and please let her know how impressive that is from me, from all of us. Kathy says she did a great job. Yes, she did. Goldie said it was a gift to a friend of hers. And you mentioned that last year to the same friend, she made a book. Goldie says, birthday girl had her party today. I wasn't allowed to share it till today. Can't ruin the surprise. Quick little reply. Bear with me, guys. So I know why you were asking for Holgo. Goldie says a comic book. Kathy says her friend is Lucky Goldie. She's also an amazing friend to my daughter. Those are the important ones to have. The ones that you want to go that extra effort, the extra mile for. Sorry, off camera to pet my cat. Who's pretty insistent upon it. I don't know if you can hear her. So I'm guessing that our friend Flower either fell back asleep or she ran out of power. Pardon me 1 second. Oh, make sure, mention again that Holgo has some new stuff up. And I see our friend Eric Lapointe has a new video up as well, a new short. He's got the geese. I wrote about geese this morning. I posted it on my community page. I wrote about the aggressiveness of geese this time of year, how I reroute entire walks to give geese space. And I don't regret it or mind it for a second. That instinctive urge for a goose, both mother and father, which, by the way, they mate for life, will do whatever they can. I watched a goose helping her young across a street. And if a car was hurrying up and getting a little too close, the mother goose would flare her wings, rear back the head, and ready to attack the car. Absolutely amazing and heartbreaking to watch at the same time. Kathy says your cat is being needy. My cat is always needy and then entirely oblivious to me in a moment's notice. So obviously, when the geese have their goslings, their young, their brood, for the mother or father goose to face down any type of danger and willingly give their life for that type of devotion, that type of love that they have for their young, evolutionary or otherwise, it doesn't matter. How can I put my importance of feeling inconvenience of having to take an additional 20 steps around, or even, I've actually changed completely. I turned around and headed back in the other direction to give them space, because it simply isn't worth putting them through that kind of a stress for a couple steps. I'm out there exercising anyway. So yeah, that goose's devotion is just a beautiful thing to be able to watch. Kathy says that's the kind of person you want her to be around Goldie. Yep, certainly so. And that, yes, my daughter said she teared up when she opened the box. I could imagine. Kathy said I left you a comment on that short. Geese are pretty amazing. I see a friend Destiny was there. And I see Kathy's coming. Very nice, Eric. I can't tell you how happy it makes me to see you posting. Eric says, yes, they'd love to charge you. We're just starting out here. They haven't started laying just yet. Any day now, though. Yeah, I've been posting some. It's a good thing I have the 3-level zoom on my little handheld camera, because I'm able to get up close-up shots from a safe distance. I think we have another month, and they're able to fly. And once they're able to fly, things relax a little bit. They're still protective. They'll be protective. The goslings will stay with the mother for a year, and then might remain in the flock, but they'll stay in the mother's and father's protection. Geese are very social within there, although they can get in some scraps too. Goldie says, I remember being a child, my grandpa force feeding them. Yeah, I know people do that sometimes. I think it's outlawed in some states now. Kathy says, cats can be funny. You never know what they are thinking. This is true. She just wound up for me again. I mentioned before, 2 cats. They're sisters. I adopted them about 2 years ago. Gordy says, and I also remember being afraid of them once they lowered their heads out and started hissing. Yeah, I remember the first time I heard a goose hiss, and I was thinking, what the heck? Geese, birds, they're not supposed to make that noise. Geese aren't supposed to hiss at you. So it's an effective means of intimidation, that's for sure. Gordy said they were raised for meat, Eric. I was thinking of what was the one thing that where they would force feed the geese for the liver, just for the liver. And so they would force feed them corn. I got Eric's geese up here playing over and over. One thing I love about shorts is you just leave it up and you can watch in. Like right now, I just clipped over to Goldie's short. And the dramatic effect of the box never gets old. I keep watching it over and over again. And of course, a dramatic effect of a box is fun to watch, but it's the presentation of what's in the box that is the most amazing. Very talented young lady. And while we're on the subject of talent, once more, I'm going to give a shout out to our friend Holgo. Just super happy seeing you guys putting out such artistic content. Both Holgo and Eric Lapointe. So sorry, I'm just a little distracted. Not distracted. Um, Looking at what you guys do. That's what, that's what it's all about. Peyton says geese can be nasty. Yeah, they're super protective. I wrote the other day, I wrote again about ducks. I might have to post that sometime soon. Ducks always strike me very deep in the heart. They seem like such vulnerable creatures. Um, they're beautiful to watch. Unfortunately, I haven't seen any ducklings this year. Gordy says the box had a lace ribbon on it, and the dragon was also surrounded by lace because we didn't have bubble wrap at home. Protective, but at the same time, uh, it adds to the beauty of it. I'm watching again. Nice job with the filming too, by the way. So in just a minute, I think we will wind down for the night. It was a fun talk with you guys. Goldie said she made the video for me. You know, Goldie, the more you tell me about your daughter, the more I think what a incredible job you did of raising such a talented and clearly loving person. Sometimes those two don't coincide. Um, I know a lot of extremely talented people who sometimes get a little lost in their talent, uh, and they lose that connectedness. Um, but it's clear that your daughter is both an amazingly talented person and also has a amazingly awesome heart at the same time. That's a rare combination. And I think a lot of it comes from some people are just like that. Some people are just like that. But I think a lot of it has to do with how they were raised. Gordy says, you know the saying, it takes a village. I do. And I agree. But also, sometimes, and maybe most often, it takes an amazingly loving mother. I had a great mom, but I had a little bit of a tough relationship with her. I knew she loved me, but we were always a little on edge with each other. Even as as a kid, I could feel that. But I had a wonderful relationship with my father. Gordy says I had the help I needed to be able to be a good mom. You know what? I'm certainly glad that you did. Um, because look what the world gets. The world needs people with that talent and that love, that heart. That she was able to take that talent and make something absolutely amazing for a friend. Gordy says God has brought different people in our lives throughout the years. Just the people we need. Amazing how that happens. Important to be open for that. Gordy says, but one thing makes me sad. What's that? No matter how much I try to build her up, she still feels like she's not enough, and sometimes almost a failure. I understandably that it makes you sad. That makes me sad just to think about. Such a talented young person with, again, so much love uh, would have that. Sometimes it seems that people who give so much have a hard time turning that light around and giving to themselves. And yeah, that is sad. But there's always hope that she'll see. Gordy says, exactly, how could she be a failure? And it's an impossibility. It's an impossibility to have that talent, and more so, to have the love in her heart to want to do such a thing for a friend and be a failure. I mean, it's literally an impossibility to be a failure. I don't know how to make people see their own awesomeness. I wish I did, because we got people who stop in here randomly sometimes, uh, and they'll say, something similar. They don't like themselves. They hate themselves. Goldie says, yes, she's a tender-hearted young lady, and I'm proud of her. I don't know why my first instinct was to say, God bless the tender-hearted. It's the most sincere thing I could think of at that moment. I didn't even think of it. It just came, God bless the tender-hearted. The world needs the tender-hearted. We would literally be lost without them. We wouldn't have the great works of art that we do. Um, yeah, honestly, we would be lost without them. And I'm happy that your daughter is one of them. I'm happy you have her in your life. Squirrel Sniper is here. Hello, my friend. Just getting ready to say goodnight. I have a couple things to do. Pre-bed breathing real quick. Let me know if you guys want to chat for 5 or 10 minutes. I'll do my stuff and leave this on. Or if you have another place to meet. I hate leaving people unconnected. I'm just checking a bit. Goldie says she's going to sleep. Me too. Squirrel Sniper said, just driven 3 hours to see an old friend. Just got back home. Glad you're home. Home safe. 3 hours. Even if you like driving, 3 hours can be a tough drive. Goldie says, thank you for your kind words. My pleasure. Always happy to have something kind to say for a good friend. So I think with that, we'll call it a night. Appreciate you guys being here. Squirrel Sniper, Goldie, Eric LaPointe, and Kay. We had Kathy C. Payton here. Kathy, thank you. hang in there, my friend, and I'm looking forward to the wind dying down and seeing you do that ghost tour. UK Medic was hanging out. Always appreciate it when he shows up. Our good friend Flower. Nightwatch was here briefly at the very beginning. He did mention K. Renee's Garden, right? If I haven't, then shame on me. Mayhem and Miracles. Charlie was here. The wrenchless Mocha McCartney was here. It is what it is was here. I think that might be just about. Oh, E is God's son. Always appreciate when he stops by. Such a sincere young man. He's also someone who is tenderhearted. Love to see that. Goldie says Ivy is live. I've been playing her through the day, but let me pop in, and as I do my stuff, I can have her up and running, and I can also give her hello. So, if you guys aren't going to bed, if you want to hang out with another friend, go visit Ivy. That's Ivy and Rich's podcast. Gordy says I'll say hi and go to sleep. That's my plan as well. So, I'm going to hang in there for one more second as Goldie's going to drop the link. Thanks.
Hey, Pamela J. Hey, Tammy, that's my,
There's Rich talking.
the other side of my family. Their last name is Ruiz.
AEW, yeah, that sounds right.
And there's Ivy.
Babe, you see Steven's banner?
Hold on, let me look on my other phone. Because I can't.
I made him that long time ago.
And there's Ivy's link. So if anyone is still here, you want to support a friend, you want to listen to some good talk, some good conversation,
Okay.
both Ivy and Rich are fun to listen to.
I see.
So go check it out. And I'll leave that up for just a minute.
I don't know. Aren't you all the same anyway?
Kathy says, have a great night, everyone.
What? Oh
You
my
too. Kathy, I
God,
appreciate
that
you
is
stopping
the
in.
racist mother effing thing I've ever heard.
And I will see everyone later. Have a good night, guys. Thank you again.
Yeah,